Hack your cloud before somebody else does. The most common mistakes and how to stop them with Rajeev Joshi. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the show. Sorry we're a little bit late. We got started. We were talking about old friends, and we got caught up, and we neglected to realize that we were a minute late. So apologies to the audience. Rajeev, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing absolutely fine. I am glad to be on this show.
We are glad to have you. Especially considering the fact that we got caught up chatting about like, oh, you know Aditi? Oh, how is she doing? And yeah, so we should shout out to all of the folks that whose ears are burning currently because we've been talking about them this whole time. Damien, hello, good sir. How are you doing today?
Howdy. I am doing very well. It is my wife's birthday today, so that's pretty exciting.
Tell her we said happy birthday. You got special plans?
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Thank you. I will pass it along. I think we're just going to go out to dinner. You know, once you start counting like the anniversary of your 29th birthday, you stop really caring about birthdays.
Yeah, but it's an opportunity to go out and get the special thing that she loves. Well, what's her food? What's her jam?
Sushi and a pint. Yeah.
Say no more. Yep, that is me too. Like for my birthday, Chris goes out and gets all the sushi. I love it.
It is very good.
Ideally in Japan, but
well, yes, but failing that, Central Texas will just have to do.
Yep, exactly. So Rajeev, thanks for coming on. I know it is late your time. Not hilariously, but as we were chatting previously, we realized that you were friends with the prior two presenters that came on. You know them. You are a community builder. You were an AWS Cloud Captain. Congratulations. And all three of you submitted your CFPs to vBrownBag, and we were like, yes, all three of these are great talks. And coincidentally, not intentionally, we stacked all three of you back to back to back. So shout out to Janvi and Snigdha, who just spoke the past two times, and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So it's a bit late there right now, but how are you doing? I know you're not tired.
Yeah, I'm doing absolutely fine. I'm just waiting for this because I prepared. I won't be getting nervous here. I will be speaking as much as I can, and that's just it. I am just up for this thing.
And this is a really good talk too, because when people get that first AWS account and they start clicking around in there are pitfalls that AWS does in fact try to alleviate, but it's not always guaranteed. So this will be a great talk for the folks out there that are getting into it, or actually it's even going to be a great talk for folks that have been around for a while, because if they're transferring over into AWS, they might not know what they don't know. So I'm fairly jazzed about this.
Thank you so much. Actually, I was one of the people who logged into AWS and made some errors and all.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I mean, we've all done that. I did make sure that I did not make the mistake of not turning on MFA, and I stopped using root immediately. So I did do that right. So knock on wood, my systems have not been compromised yet. Give it time, though. I'm sure somebody out there is going to take a whack at it. But I do have my billing alerts turned on too. So if anything does go crazy, if somebody starts crypto mining on my systems, then I will know immediately. Cool. Okay. Well, why don't we get into it? Why don't I bring the presentation up? Oh, that's not your presentation. That's mine. Remove that and add to stage. There we go. All right, let's get into it.
Thank you so much, Chris, for welcoming me here. So, hello everyone. Are you ready for today's session, which is Hack Your Own Cloud, the most common mistakes and how to stop them? So, I will be covering some of the common mistakes when you are beginner in the cloud, or you are working for some organization and you are using some of the AWS services for personal use or for professional use. So there are some mistakes that we unintentionally do, or we forgot to turn on or turn off some things that we should be doing, and that can give us a trouble afterwards. So today's session would be focusing on that what are the common mistakes that we do, and we'll be going around some of the services provided by AWS and everything. So let's get right into it. Okay. So first of all, myself, Rajeev Joshi, and recently graduated in computer engineering. I have done my bachelor's, and I am AWS community builder right now. And as well as I got the opportunity to be AWS cloud captain in my university. So very glad to be part of AWS community. I'm very glad I got to know so much from that. And yes, I am cloud enthusiast. I like to explore new things, new services. I like to learn about some case studies, what is happening new in the cloud, what are infrastructure changes going on, and everything. So yeah, let's begin with the agenda of our today's session. So first of all, we'll be getting that what is cloud security. For knowing the mistakes and everything, we should first know about the cloud security, right? That what is cloud security and why does it matter in today's era so much? Like in 20, when everything is captured by AI and all. So why does it matter today that we should give a focus on it and we should put it in perspective whenever we are doing something? And then we'll be seeing some real life breaches. I will be telling you about some real life breaches that I have got to know when I was doing my research about this, and as well as we'll be learning some about responsibility models, common mistakes, and everything. So yeah, are you guys ready for this today's session? And if you are, then yes, let's get right into it. So yes, starting from what is cloud security exactly? Like cloud security is basically whenever you are uploading your data, whenever you are using cloud services, so to protect that data, to protect your infrastructure, and no one else access that without your authorization, you need some you need some services, you need some options that you have to turn on so that no one else can access your data which is privately secured over there. And with that, it also ensures to maintain the CIA triad, which is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. That confidentiality should be there whenever you're using cloud security. Also, as well as integrity should be attached with it, and the availability of all the cloud services and the its security process. Like it should never go down. As well as there are some policies, tools, rules which are available in cloud security whenever you are doing any kind of project or working on any kind of project. So we are today here to know just about that. And if you want to know it in a more familiar manner, so think of it as a home security, right? If you have purchased a new home, there are new gadgets, TV, appliances, everything is inside the house, right? And whenever you are going out, you remember to lock the house, right? Because if you won't, then someone will get the products that you bought for the free. So think cloud security is just like the lock system which we put it on our door while we are closing it. So that is what cloud security is. There are some different kind of process like IAM for the logs, for the when we put CCTV cameras, it got captures the monitoring and everything. There are walls which comes as a firewalls, and alarms and everything like fire alarm and all. So it gives us alerts that something is happening. So that is what, if I have to say in short, that is what cloud security is. Now, when we move forward, that why actually cloud security matters, like right, because today is the era of AI, artificial intelligence, when everything we just have to put it into command prompt or anything, and just we have to load the things, and the AI will take care of itself for us all the things. But when we begin with the cloud security, it matters because 94% of the enterprises uses the cloud, and this covers all the cloud services provided by AWS, Azure, Oracle, anything, because 94% of the enterprises are working with that. No one can have right now the whole lot big go down of databases, servers, and everything, right? So they use services provided by these cloud service platforms. And that's why if there are so much big services like Netflix, Airbnb, they won't like it, right, if their data is compromised. So that's why they choose these services to go. so that any kind of thing happens, they have backups, they have security and everything. They just have to set it. With that, you also get the feasibility of remote work, like the how cloud platforms are increasing day by day, how cloud services are increasing day by day. And when everyone is migrating into the cloud, companies and big organizations have got that feasibility that whenever they want to work with any kind of region, they can select any region they want to put their data in, they want to check anything, they can use any kind of server they want. So the remote work has increased by 80% because of cloud usage. And that's something that when these things get increased, you have to put little bit security onto that. Otherwise, if it all went down, then who is going to save it, right? And when all these things go one by one, cyber attacks also starts increasing, because now that everything is on the internet, the hackers and the people who want your data won't be resting for a while. They will start attacking by with different tools and everything to get your data from the organizations or your personal stuff or anything. So that's why keeping the cloud security matters. As you, I might not be the only one to do it. Whenever we lock our door, we check the lock once again, right? That it is locked or not. So that is kind of cloud security works. We have to lock this thing. We have to put security into that, and we double check twice so that any kind of misconfiguration or any kind of data leak has not been happened through us. And that's why somewhere the cloud security enters in this role. Now let's see. In 2021, 533 million users data got leaked due to a little bit of misconfiguration in API in Facebook. Now, right now, we all know, right? Facebook is so big organization. How can this data leak can happen over there? But as I said, this when security is low, anyone can enter into your house, and that's what happened with Facebook. Due to minor misconfiguration or by the employees, the 533 million users data got leaked, and our parents and everyone is on Facebook right now. So we can just assume that what kind of details, what kind of data must have been leaked during this whole ruckus. So that is something I got to know, and I was fascinated, by the way, that these big organizations also also have this kind of stuff happening to them because of minor errors. And when we see one fun fact also, in 60 seconds, over 2,500 records are stolen online globally. And I was much more shocked when I got to know about the details of record. Like records can be of one person also, five people also, and it can be about 100 million people also. So if in every 60 seconds over 2,500 records are getting stolen online, then there must be some way to protect it. There should be some way to protect it that we can do from our side, and we are just going to see that today. So yeah, and one of the real world breach that I got to know is one more, that Capital One's 2019 breach. Now, because of the little bit of misconfiguration in server database, over 100 million plus customers record got exposed, and those records weren't just some kind of names, address, and everything. It was their security number also. And those people who are living in USA, they must be knowing the meaning importance of security number, right? That how important that is to keep secure and safe. So because of the one vulnerability and poor IM services and role provided by the organization, over 100 million customers data got leaked, and that is one of the biggest in history. So these all things, Facebook, the 2,500 data records being globally exposed every 60 seconds, and these all breaches tells us one thing, that whenever we are working with cloud or whenever we are working with any kind of services, we have to put a security thing on check. Like whatever are we doing? Are we keeping it private or are we keeping it on a public watch? Because if it is on public watch, anyone can access it over the time. Anyone can access my data, and sometimes that's not what we want. So that's why cloud security matters. if these big organizations can also get their data leaked by a little bit of misconfiguration, then who are we, right? So mistakes can happen from by anyone, and that's what we are going to learn from today's session. Yeah, and first session will be security in cloud is your job. As much as it is the service provider that is accountable for our security, we are also that shareholder for the security of our own data, because they provide us servers, they provide us processor and everything, but the configurations are up to us. First we develop the configurations and everything, and afterwards it's up to them. So if we do any kind of minute error, then we cannot blame the security organizer, cloud organization, that they have leaked our data, because that thing happened from us. So I feel it is a 50-50 job to maintain your data safe and secure. 50% coming from cloud service platforms and 50% coming from organizations and people themselves, right? So yes, now as we see the responsibility models of cloud, so there are some different responsibility models like hardware, infrastructure based networking, where these all are secured by the AWS. Like if I have to say, I am an AWS community builder, right? So I will give you most probably examples of AWS, as I have used the most services of that. And if I have to say that, when if you want any kind of services, and if you're working on any kind of service of AWS and you're storing your data over there, so the hardware part, the server part, database, infrastructure, and base networking, it is all secured by AWS itself, cloud service platform, because that has been handled and overviewed by them. Our job is to secure our data, identity, APIs, and configurations, and operating system and their access, right? Because whenever we start any kind of service or we start working with any kind of protocol or something, we get all the options that how we want our data to be stored, how much identity roles or permissions we are going to give, what APIs are we using, what configurations we have to do. Because once we do the configuration, all the responsibility shifts towards the cloud service platform. But first, our part, we have to do it 100% accurately, because that is the main thing that we want to do, because that is our choice. And if we make a mistake in our choice, then it can cost us a very huge amount of money, right? So that is the shared responsibility model in cloud that we see generally. It is just like apartment building and everything. As I gave the example earlier, like cloud service platform, AWS is the apartment building, and we are responsible for locking our own flat. Because if we won't, then who will? Right? So yeah, that is the shared responsibility model. Now that as we move forward, one more fun fact, that most cloud breaches are not due to cloud providers or cloud provider failure. It is because of the misconfiguration. As I said earlier, as I mentioned, that whatever the breaches that we saw in the starting, right, the Facebook, the Capital One, all those happen because of the minute misconfigurations from the users itself. Now we cannot blame cloud service provider for its failure, because if any kind of server failure is there, or if infrastructure is not working, then obviously we can blame them, or we can say that it is mistake from your side. But most of the time, more than 50% of the time, the misconfigurations and all those things are happened by us, and that's why we lose our data, and data records get compromised easily. So we should keep that in mind. And with that, you should emphasize trust and control balance. And when you do both, you are the pilot of your own plane. You get to handle your data. You are the pilot of your own data and your whole structure. You just have to maintain it once. You just have to develop it once, and afterwards you just have to sit and see that how it's going and everything. You just have to provide the access. If you don't want to, it's up to you. Then it's totally your thing, right? So yeah, when moving forward, now comes the main part, that common mistakes that we see in cloud security, which is the main part of session today. And when we see the mistake one, it's obviously the misconfigured S3 buckets. Now, for S3 buckets, as we all know, S3 bucket is basically where you store your all the data. Like if there's any kind of pictures, any kind of records, or if there's anything that you want to store, you use the S3 services. That's where all the storage goes. And if you do a little bit of misconfigurations, right, because when you are creating S3 buckets, any cloud service platform gives you the proper option that if you want to keep it private, if you want to keep it public, and if we choose public, then our S3 bucket is globally available. If someone is looking for globally available S3 buckets or public IP address which are open, ports are open, so they can easily access our data over there. So first mistake that people do or organizations do, what I have also done in the past as was when I was the beginner itself. So I misconfigured my S3 bucket. Basically put it as in a public IP and all, so everyone can access it and all. So that was one thing that I got to know, that you should never keep your S3 bucket public. Sorry, and you should always manage the roles, IAM services and roles that you want to give it to another people, that who can access it and to what level they can access the program. For first thing, if you have to see the real world example for misconfigured S3 buckets, is one of the companies named Verizon. Now, Verizon is the very famous company, and their records were exposed due to a little bit of misconfiguration in S3 buckets by third-party service provider. The 14 million user records got leaked, which includes everything: phone number, address, their all the details. And why it got leaked? Because there was a misconfiguration in S3 bucket, and someone who should not have seen that got that to know, and they leaked it to and they pass it on to the another. So because of this small mistake, the 14 million users data got released in globally available, right? I mean, it's not a small number that this much people's data got leaked, and it is not easy to give answers when you are such a reputed organization, and this thing happens in your organization. So that is one thing we should make sure of, that we do not, whenever we are using the S3 bucket, we should keep it in a private mode, in a private IP, so that only the people who have authorized access, they can only access the S3 bucket. Now, there are some IAM services, IAM policies, IAM roles that we have to provide it to another person, those who want to access this. And in that, we can just block the public access and our work is done. Our S3 bucket is properly secure. Only we and the authorized people can access it. So the first mistake that we should learn from, and which we should not do, is misconfiguration of S3 bucket. Always make it private. Always. All right.
I will
So-
say though that
Yeah.
like I feel like S3 has gotten better at warning you that you're being stupid, right? Like, the way that you create it by default, you actually have to kind of go out of your way to misconfigure it rather than accidentally misconfigure it. You know what I mean? But that's I'm only speaking about today. I would imagine that the S3 misconfiguration was probably just due to S3 not doing a great job of telling people the right way to do it, But it actually does say, like, are you sure you want to make this public? Like, everyone can, you really have to try.
And it's like a very innocent mistake that we do when we are in rush and everything. We just go with the things, okay, by default setting everything is correct, and we forgot to turn that off. But that when we got to know about this thing, when I personally also got to know that, okay, I should not do this type of stuff, I should not do these type of mistakes, this can cost me many. So after that, I kept in mind that, okay, whenever we are doing, always checklist this thing whenever you are making S3 bucket or something, because once it's live and everything, you cannot do anything afterwards. Once it's globally available. So yeah, moving on to the next mistake is over permissive IAM roles. The IAM, identity and access management, is the first step to secure your cloud. That is the first step. And by giving someone extra access or by giving someone extra permissions or roles, we can by ourselves only leak the data to everyone. Because if someone is not thinking with right perspective, or someone is trying to put you down and they have the access to your data, then they can just easily share it with everyone. you know so IAM policy, if uh, so there is basically, whenever you are trying IAM policy and when you put the star, you give the another person whole access, all the permissions you allocate to the person. And sometimes that permissions can be the reason that why our data gets leaked, or why we are the one who has to face those errors again and again. So first of all, we should keep that in mind. And as a solution, what we can do is we can use IAM access analyzer, that who is getting what type of access. Like if I have to say the basic stuff about organization, the CEO or the top management will have all the access throughout the employee data records, salary slips, customer, clients, and accounts and everything. But when we come to HR, the HR will have access to the all the employees' data specifically, and the thing what's going on with the clients or not. But they won't have some kind of access to another thing which top management have. And as well as when we come down to the stairs, it happens with the same with the employees and all. Like employees get the access of their own roles. If I am working as a associate or solutions architect, then I get the data. I am able to authorize access the data of the clients which I am passed on to, which I have got the clients and everything. So I got the data, I got to see the data of those only. So whenever you see the organization structures, IAM roles and permissions are very, very necessary to do these things. And that is the first step to secure your cloud, I will say. Before S3 bucket, IAM over permissive IAM roles are the one which takes you down. And one of the best example that I was able to find in the real world, obviously, I have tried to bring out actually the real world cases which have happened because of these things, so that everyone can easily relate and understand, okay, this is the thing that happened, and because of this happened, this incident has happened. So basically, two rogue employees from a third party app misuse their over permissive access, and they leak the data of 50,000 what do you say, merchants in Shopify. This happened with the Shopify actually. They got the over permissive roles, and when they were released from the positions and all, they got leaked the data of 50,000 merchants online, and all those merchants has data about their customers and everything in their database. So like if we connect the dots, 50,000 merchants, and if every merchant is having 10,000 customers and everything, so it just gets big, 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 big. So that was a huge data breach I got to know about actually. And why? Just because of the minor extra permissions that was given to the employees. So second mistake is that we should always check what permission are we giving to the people, and are we giving them the right permission or not, according to their position or according to their access. So yes, I hope Chris and Damon, you let me know, okay, if I'm getting any kind of boring or something.
No. This is all.
If I'm getting any kind of boring.
Yeah.
This is all valuable information that everybody needs to know about when they're dipping their toes into the cloud. So no, this is. So sometimes people think that security is a second-class citizen in regards to, I just want to go on there and build cool stuff and make applications and have a good time. I don't need to worry about this exposed bucket. Let's create an app called T, where women can put their personal information on there and then not secure things. That's not a thing that literally just happened. So this should be very top of mind to every CEO who's out there vibe coding their way out of a brown paper bag, trying to make things that take money and PII.
Yeah. And, folks might, if you're getting on AWS for the first time, It's confusing. There is so many different services and so many different ways that they connect and 1,000 different ways to solve a problem. And you may not be aware of the well-architected framework. You may not be aware of, uh, least access, right? Like those things are important. And and if you're not aware of it, it'll bite you.
Yeah, absolutely. And these are the things that I have also done by mistakes. So these mistakes have happened for me also previously. That is the fun thing. I laugh when I think about that. That okay, I did this mistake. I left this open. I should have not given this access to anyone. So it's like I am familiarized with this kind of breaches and all. Yeah. So yeah, after these two mistakes, the tip I would like to give you is that IAM is your first guard. After that, configurations can be done. But whenever you start, don't forget the IAM, don't forget to lock the door, and then afterwards recheck it twice, and then do the configuration so that your data and your organization's data can be safe, right? And let's move forward to our next mistake, which is open ports or bad security groups. Now, you must be thinking that what can ports do and everything, right? What does a security group has to do and everything? Because whenever we are using AWS, if I'm not wrong, most of us, whenever we are making any new instance, we just keep the security groups to the zero. We just set the port to the 0.0.0.0 and /0. We keep the port open SSH 22, right? And that is because we somewhere feel that okay, no one is going to access that. We just have to do work for few some time, and then we'll delete the instance. But that is not the best practice that we should be doing. And I also have to admit I still do that sometimes whenever I'm in hurry. But yeah, I have stopped doing that officially. But earlier I used to do still when I knew, but still left the port open. But yeah, the impact that it creates, that if someone is trying to breach, because in this fast growing technology era, we can say that it is going as fast as days are going. Every day we see new technology coming, every day we see new AI getting implemented, new LLM models, everything. Gemini, Chat GPT, Grok, Meta, and everything is there. So with that thing is when that thing is increasing, also the attacks from hackers and the people who want to breach, that is also increasing, and they are just looking for the way to just find anyone's server is available or not. So they are continuously trying to attack. So when I was doing my internship, I actually got to know that in minute over 2 million plus attacks happen every 2 minutes. So that is like a huge number. And that thing, for that we have to secure our portal from our side. And one of those things which we do is we should not be keeping the ports open. Like we should be setting ports to another IP address, or we can just put it to our own system's IP address so that no one else can access it because openly and globally. And one of the, I will say it's, I was laughing after knowing this, but not very in a bad way, but in a good way, that I got to know this use real world case. So by mistake, one Tesla's Kubernetes dashboard was globally publicly accessible. And when people got to know about that, rather than taking the car, rather than stealing the car's data or something or user data, they went for crypto mining. And I was so surprised when I got to know about this. I was like, rather than getting Tesla cars, you are Cybertruck or something, that advanced model, you are going for crypto mining over there. And they actually did a crypto mining for a while without even getting paid. Employees at Tesla know that there has been security breach. So what they did was they got the security port open, they got the access, they got to know that it was publicly accessible. They spread this news and they started crypto mining it. And the smartness that they showed was the processing system and operating system, they kept it on a very low monitoring, so that the alerts and all cannot be that much big that they have to check it that if anyone is else using that or not. But that was quite a big breach, and I will say that was quite a smart move. That, as we all know, that crypto mining takes a hell lot of power and efficiency from the systems, right? It takes hell lot of electricity. It needs a very high amount of operating system and all. So people use that actually advantage of that and started crypto mining. And that is one of the great example I will say that I got about the bad security groups. So always restricts the CIDRs, the NACLs, and the guard duty. Always keep it on. Always keep the subnet, or your private subnet, your IP address, private group, security groups. Always make that little private so that your data and your information is safe and within your control. As you are the pilot of your own plane, I said from the start, right? If you will lock your door perfectly, then there's no need to worry. But if you will leave any kind of prints, then it can be easily get into that. And now moving forward, there is one fun fact that in 2023, security researchers discovered that there was an unsecured database which contained biometrics of over 1 million people. And I was like, oh my God, that is 1 million people's biometric data, which we use for Android, for our face recognition, fingerprints, and everything. We use that in daily life to unlock our systems and all. And if that is available online, then how easily people we can make the duplications and shadow people and use their information to do wrong with others. Like we always know that there is always something going on in dark web and everything.
Do you
So
know which
these were
company it was that information was scraped from?
Actually, I don't. I didn't get the name of company, but it
Okay.
was like two security researchers were just doing research that how much data is getting leaked right now, what is the status, and how much of unaccessible data they can get into without giving any kind of without any authorization or something like that.
Wow.
And then they came across this thing.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
I don't know
it
how it
was
is in the country that you live in, Rajeev, but in America, we get our identities stolen constantly. It's probably like once a
yeah.
month that there's some company like, sorry, we'll give you a free year of identity monitoring. Sorry. Like
Yeah.
there's no punishment. So I mean, the fact that this was only 2023 and not something you found from last week.
Yeah.
Right? Like
You must have gotten notification for this actually then.
uh, I mean, there's
Like,
yes, there's talk about government data that's just been up on an open cloud very recently as well. So like,
Yeah.
this is just a fact of life in America. I don't know how it is in the rest of the world.
yeah, actually, I am from, I am from India, so they're all here also. Most of these things get leaked because of some people's misconfiguration and all. They forgot to do something. So here also these things happen constantly. Well, not in a very not in a very common way, not weekly or something, but these things do happen. I do get the news about some companies information getting leaked and something, and not just anyone, because the security breaches are constantly attacking the system. And even if they get the minor access, if they find minor loophole, then they will like rush to the thing, like when ants do when they see the sugar and all. So it's like that thing. And actually, this thing, when people found the biometric data of 1 million people, more than 1 million people online, it very leaked the controversy that what is there in security, customer security, right? Because if everyone's data is available online, then what should person do to keep it secure? So it was like a whole big thing. But yeah, they got to know about this thing, and afterwards, I think if I'm not wrong, they secured it or they deleted it. But this is what something happened few years back. Yeah. So moving on, that yeah. So as I said, that company got breaches and everything because just because their SSH port 22 is left open globally. So when I was doing my internship, so I was teached that what are the best practices when you are working with organization or when you are working for organization to keep in mind. And one of them was this, that you should never keep your port 22 open. You should always and always secure it. Put it IAM roles perfectly, put the subnet and NACLs and CIDs, everything perfectly. And once that is done, then only move forward. So that is something that happens constantly because of this minute error. Now, coming on to our next mistake, these are hard coded secrets in code. Now, so basically, when you put something, so most of our thinking goes around like, okay, we are making any kind of code or something, so we will put our secrets and all into that only. No one will able to know like what is there and all. They won't be reading thousand line of codes and everything to just know the our secret or something like that. And that same thing actually happened with Uber. So Uber's hard-coded secrets, they put it actually, they make the repo, they had a repository in GitHub, and they had their hard-coded secrets over there in code itself. And when one of the security breaches, when one of the hacker got hang of that thing, they just leaked it online. And suddenly the whole attack started, and over many millions of people's user data got leaked.
Mhm.
And that data content location services, their location, cab drivers location and everything, numbers, phone numbers and everything. So actually that was that got prolonged, that people were making fake identity taking from that data of drivers and everything. And what did Uber do? Most fascinating thing, Uber did not go for any kind of police help or something. Instead, they kept $100,000 of bug bounty on the breachers. That whoever will find this and delete it will give them $100,000. And I was like, wow, that's quite a brave move to put it out. And I was surprised by that actually. So these are all things that happen in big organization also. Main My main motto to put all the real world examples in this session, use these real world examples in this session, and to put into PPT is that we can know that okay, these are the things that happen constantly with big organizations too. We are not someone that it won't happen to us. We just have to keep our mind straight, and we have to just configure it right every time. And for this hard coded secrets and all, we should always use secret manager. Like in AWS, there is AWS secret managers. So you get your own key and everything made, and which is only available to you. It is not available anywhere. So you can only access it whenever you want, and only you can access it. So that is one thing you can do. You can put env variables and all, so that the data is secure and safe. And yeah.
Yeah.
And
and those environment variables can be decrypted during runtime and encrypted at rest. So if someone were to get access to your application, that would be bad, but it would be worse if they also got access to something else, like your API keys or some
exactly.
other secret that you need locked down. So yes, AWS is actually pretty handy in the way that it does that. So
Exactly.
that's a great idea.
Yeah, and as I am an AWS community builder, I will be doing little bit marketing of AWS. So I can say that openly. I have got some swags around here. I have got some pretty good goodies and stickers, so I can openly market about that. But yeah, it's always great to use security, and it's always great to keep things in mind. Now, next mistake, which is final mistake for our session, it is no logging or monitoring. Like if you whenever we go to offices and something, we always see security cameras filled all the offices filled with security cameras, right? Why is that? Because whatever people are doing, whatever, if there's anything going wrong which should not be happening, you get the idea of that by looking into it, and that is called monitoring. And we see the
Because Damien used to work there, and he used to steal the pens all the time. And they finally figured out what. Wait a minute. Never mind. Sorry,
that
my
that
mic wasn't muted. My apologies.
It's totally fine. But yeah, so as biometrics are there, whenever we go into office, we always punch in our cards. So that is what logging is like. It gets our timing. Okay, Rajiv logged in at this time, he went at this time. And same goes for monitoring. Like what kind of work I have done today is getting monitored by my manager, team manager, or if someone more higher up position, that what am I doing, what kind of work I'm doing, and how am I doing. They can monitor that easily. But that is something that you should keep on. Most people do is they think it is a very tedious process to keep the monitoring on, logging on. You constantly gets message about that, mails about that, that this is what thing happened, this kind of thing happened, uh, this is the service you use, this is the thing you use. So it is like constantly people feel it is a tedious process, because I was one of the people earlier. I can say that frankly. But now that I have got to know the meaning of about this, I keep that thing on, like monitoring and tracking, so that I can also know that what kind of services I'm using, what is my usage, and if anyone else is accessing this thing without even my permission or not. And that is why one of the thing is that no logging equals to blind spot. You will also never know that who breached into your account and got the data. So you should keep that in your mind. And there was in real world, like, if we have to see the example, so some of the crypto miners discovered too late during the mining and afterward that there was no cloud trail available. So whole of the data was publicly available, and anyone can steal that easily and take it to their custody. So that is something we happened because of monitoring or logging feature was off of the system. So when basically it does not happen. It is not very questionable in the offices where you use where you don't use cloud services. But whenever you're using cloud services, this is the must do thing, when you to keep checking constantly that no one else is logging in without your permission. So that is something which we should watch for. And there are some services, good services, like cloud trail, cloud watch, guard duty, which helps us in securing all these things, right? So yeah, so some of the few more real world cases is I mentioned about the Tesla. And after that there was in 2022, Jenkins server also was misconfigured. So it released the token of 1,000 GitHub projects actually. And some of the projects were of Fortune 500 companies. So that was like, I was like, wow, because all we know, right, how much project means for us. We are constantly doing research, we are making codes, we are doing everything we want to do in one project. We are giving it all of our hard work. And because of just little misconfigurations in the server, our whole project got leaked. And Fortune 500 companies names are also under this list. It is just, this whole real world breaches and data is available online. You can also check it if you want to do more research and want to know more. But yeah, this also happened. And one of the actually healthcare company accidentally exposed 4 TB of patient data. Whenever we keep our data, I don't feel it is more than 1 MB, 2 MB, or 5 MB. But when you go for 4 TB of data, you can just imagine how many patients' data got leaked easily because of just S3 bucket error, permissions. Just a single misclick and all the data got lost. So that is something we should keep in mind whenever we are making our services, and whenever we are using services. Moving on to the next, that quick overview of AWS security services. All of these I have mentioned. Just to mention it once more, that one of the first kickstart is given by IAM, access control. It gives us access control, that who can access, how they can access, and what they can access. Afterwards comes the key management service, KMS, which gives you encrypted key. So only you can log in whenever you want to, and no one else can. Then one of the services is Cloud Trail. It tracks your activity, what you are doing, how much amount of time you are spending in, what is the service used, and how you are using it. It gives you whole activity tracking for that. Then configurations. Whenever you are you are doing the audits and digital audits about the whole the things, you need something that to check in, where you can check that and what are the things that have happened. So configurations are always necessary for audits to check that thing once again. Then comes the guard duty. Now in guard duty, you get to know that threat detection and everything. And as much as I have not used it guard duty much, very much more, but as much as I have used, it gives us threat detection and everything. Like if it is our service or if our port is easily accessible by another person or not, so we can secure it once again. And then comes AWS Macy. It detects sensitive data and it gives us the alerts to secure it online. So these are some of the AWS security services. Not all of those, because AWS has more than 250 plus services. But yeah, once again, these are the services which you should keep in mind whenever you are working, and whenever you are working with sensitive data, especially, so that you can be rest assured about your data once you are done with configurations. Right now, moving on for best practices. Now, throughout the session, what we have seen is I have tried to put all these things in some point, five or six pointers that always enable MFA for all the users. Multi-factor authentication is must in cloud. You should always put multi-factor authentication. You should always use strong password policies. Rajeev 123 is not gonna work every time. So you should always work strong password policies. Like there should be uppercase character, lowercase character, special character, and everything. Then you should be doing encryption perfectly. You should encrypt everything which you are working on to keep your data safe and secure, and keep all the service updated. You should be updated with all the service so that any kind of malfunction or something don't happen easily. Then audit configurations regularly. Check your configurations again, that okay, if something is on or not, which should not be, and everything. And just try to rotate the secrets. That is, these are some of the best practices that you can work on, that you can try for yourself also, for your organization also, so that your data, your client's data, and your organization's data cannot be leaked easily and is not easily accessible by another person. Now, as we are coming to the end of my session, there is also, I would like to mention the cloud security careers. That, people always are like, okay, what are the career options in cloud? And if we are talking about cloud security, then there are many roles available. You can be cloud security engineer, you can be cloud engineer, you can work as a dev security or developer security operations operator, and you can be auditor also. So these are some of the cloud security careers which you can pursue if you are interested in security, cyber security, and cloud security. You can do some certifications also. You can do CEH, CompTIA, Security Plus certification. You can gain that skill. Like you just have to know deeply about IAM, networking, Linux, Python, because Linux is the basic of cloud computing, and Python, logging, incident response, everything. So these are some careers that you can pursue if you are intrigued enough and you are enthusiastic about the cloud security. Right now, one more fun tip, last from my side, would be that many cloud security engineers got their enthusiasm and starts their career with CTF, capture the flag. It is worldwide renowned game which is played by all the young professionals and students also. And that can be your first ladder to the cloud security, that you can breach and you can just capture the flags and get to the down of the data foundation. You can also use some hacking lab portals which are available. One of them is Try Hack Me. So that is easily available and easily accessible by you. So you can take part in CTFs, you can try hack portals, and you can increase your skill over there. Now, yeah, last summary, security equals to shared responsibility. As I said, it is a 50-50 task, not 70-30 or 80-20. It is always 50-50 task. Then IAM plus encryption equals makes always requirement. IAM should be also there and encryption should be also there. Now, moving on, misconfigurations are your biggest enemy. No server issues, nothing there. AWS provides with everything. If I have to say, if your one server is down, your data will be transferred to another server and you can easily access it. But misconfigurations are your biggest enemy. You should always take time and secure your configuration. Then learn more about AWS tools. They always come in handy whenever you are working in cloud. And yes, at the end, audit regularly, and your protection should be automated automatically. And if you are a team manager, if you are CEO of any organization, then you should always ask your team that if we got hacked, how would we know? Because as I talked about Tesla, the people hackers mined for some amount of time, and the employees over didn't know about it. So we should always think that if we are getting hacked, then how will we know that we are getting hacked? So that is one thing we should always discuss with our colleagues, team members, and everything. So yeah, here I end my session, and I hope all would have liked my session, the knowledge I tried to present, the things I tried to present, the real world examples, the AWS services, and all. And if you want to connect with me, you can scan this QR code. This is self marketing of myself. That is also part of the job. So you can just scan this QR code, and we can get connected. And if there's any kind of things which would you want to know about AWS, its secure services and all, you can always ping me in LinkedIn, right? So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, vBrownBag team, Chris, Damien, everyone, for getting me into the stage and giving me a chance to speak here. I hope you all enjoyed
my pleasure.
session. It was not boring.
Yeah. No.
It was not boring.
This is great stuff. Like I said before, this is all very top of mind. This is all super important because as we can see from just recent breaches, like people are still are not doing this kind of stuff. I would say that like the next level, I mean, all of your recommendations are exactly right. They absolutely need to be doing all of those things. The next thing would be to like have some kind of like secrets. So you didn't have secrets manager in the list, but having.
He did.
I'm sorry. Was it? I must have missed it.
Yeah.
I saw guard duty and KMS. I must have glazed over secrets manager. Okay, so disregard. That is bang on. Having something that can auto rotate for you is perfect because people get lazy. People forget to swap out. Oh, I have to change my password every 60 days. Well, that's a pain in the butt. If you automate it and if you have ephemeral values that just go and know because you have roles-based access control set up for you to do that, then all of that happens underneath the covers and people don't even have to worry about passwords. So this is very it should be very top of mind for a lot of folks out there in the security space. And I do love Try Hack Me. That is a really good call out for that. Those are CTFs are super fun. Try Hack Me is super fun. There's a bunch of really good websites out there for people that are getting into the security space. If you just Google, security websites to hack for fun and for free, you can get a bunch of them out there. Nice.
I've never done CTF, so
they're super fun. They really are.
You should try.
Yeah, it'd be a good time.
Yeah, depending upon like if you do like a remote CTF or if you do like one of the on-prem ones are very aggressive. Like if you get into like on-prem Teams CTFs, there's like people like huddled over their keyboards, like if you see people like starting to wander around trying to like socially engineer the other teams and stuff. People can get really spicy. Like I've not like fisticuffs or people like taking each other out, but there are some strongly worded sentiments that happen at an on-prem CTF. Get the hell away from my keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Well, I do want to be aware of time, and I do also want to announce the winner. So ironically, the first winner was a longtime friend of mine, Calvin Hendricks Parker, who is also an AWS hero. So I am not going to give him the winning. The winning is $50 to AWS compute credits. Hold on, let me just bring up the screen. I can't do two things at the same time, obviously. The winner is Creative Space. So awesome. Creative Space, congratulations. you have won $50 in AWS compute credits that you can use to secure your systems. You can turn on guard duty. You can put your secret keys up in there. You can follow all of Rajiv's recommendations for the things. So if you will, please reach out to me, either DM me on YouTube or DM me on LinkedIn, and I will be happy to hook you up with the code so that you can apply the compute credit to your existing AWS account.
Yeah.
So congrats to Creative Space. And thanks for everybody else that was chatting in the chat as well. Mahek and Daniel and go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say the vBrownBag is open to anyone who wants to present a technical topic. So folks that are in the chat or listening afterwards, go to vBrownBag.com, hit the sign up. You'll either talk to me or Chris over email, and we'll get you on the schedule. Rajeev just did that. I hope it was a fairly painless process, Rajeev. So
perfect.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed that.
Yes, awesome, good. I'm glad. So yeah, this is an open community focused podcast. So if you've got something cool and nerdy and non-marketing to talk about, hit us up, because also we need more presenters, including you, Calvin. You can always come back.
Actually, that's a really good point. We haven't had Calvin on in a hot minute. We haven't even had him on in 2025 yet. So I'm going to ping him. He gave a really good SCAF talk. Speaking of Python, he gave a really good SCAF talk for IndiePy that he should do for us as well. So,
awesome. Yeah.
All right. That'll be up next then. All right. Everybody have a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, evening. Rajeev, thank you very much. And we will see you
so much.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye, team.
Bye.
Bye.